So if you're a Mac or a Google Chrome power user like me, you might have been familiar with Spotlight Search as well as the browsing history search. Um, However, these tools are just not very good at actually finding the information we need because they usually just look for name matches in the title or the name of the file. Right. So, for example, I forgot about when and where the Exa Hackathon was. So, if I go to my Google Chrome and type in Exa Hackathon, it doesn't actually remember where and when the Exa Hackathon was because the web page URL didn't start with Exa Hackathon. It actually started with Partyful, which is something I may not remember if I registered a long time ago. And I also might not remember this long code that's available at the end. And so this is why we built Jeff, which is basically a spotlight search, which is supercharged by AI. So it actually understands the contents of the web pages that you've browsed, the files that you have on the system, and your emails, and it indexes all of that to provide a much more powerful search capability. So for example, here, if I type in Exa Hackathon again and see what it returns, it actually gives me a small summary of the hackathon itself and gives me the correct link, which is that same Partyful URL, which I can click and it'll launch in Google Chrome. Similarly, if I don't want to actually leave the browser, I can even ask when is the Exa Hackathon, and it should be able to answer that question for me right off the bat without me even needing to open up the web page. We have the same concept for files. So Spotlight Search usually only looks for the file name match, whereas really we want to talk about the ideas that we might have written in those files or things we might have read in papers we downloaded, right? And so, for example, um, if I type in what is my code generation plan, which is for a local code generation project that I had installed on my computer, it actually goes through and finds the journal file of that code generation project, and that is where the plan is actually located. So I can just click this and it'll actually launch the file, and I can then go through it and find whatever information I needed. It has the same capability for email. So for example, if I got a 50% off on Economist coupon, it'll actually find that email for me, and I can just directly click it and open up the email. The way we built this was actually by ingesting the user's browser history, the user's emails, as well as their entire file system, and we indexed it and stored it all on a PG vector database. And then we ran cosine similarity matches to try and find the best possible results, and also generate a brief summary based on these results so that the LLM doesn't hallucinate as much as well, and provides answers within the chat window itself, so you don't need to actually leave the window.